Hi guys, welcome back to Surviving Infidelity. Today's story is titled, My Wife Drove 10 Hours to Spend the Weekend with Another Man. Before we get into the video, I just want to remind you of the Patreon channel, once again in the description. Check it out if you like, and we'll get straight to the video. So, I'm very new to this all, but I feel like I have a pretty crazy story to share, and I need some help from the people that have had to unfortunately deal with this type of thing as well. I apologise beforehand for the wall of text. Background info. I am 39 male, my spouse is 36 female, we've been together for 16-ish years, that's a long time, married for almost 14, we have 2 boys, 12 and 9. Okay, there's kids involved, love it, it's gonna be great. I just hate when the kids are involved. My wife and I have always gone along very well in the past. There's obviously been arguments and disagreements, but we've never fight. We have always been able to communicate pretty effectively. My wife is a hairstylist by trade, and I am a nurse. She is also an educator for a major brand name, and really enjoyed what she did. For me, I have continued to grow in my career, and about 4 to 5 years ago, I accepted a director role. During this time, I was making good money, and since my wife is a hairstylist, typical work hours are evenings and weekends, she was missing out on a lot with our boys. So we made the decision for her to be a stay-at-home mum for the boys, but keep her education role because she truly loved it. Then COVID hit and no more education job now either. Once COVID slowed down a bit, I took another promotion. So now I'm making really good money and we're not concerned that she isn't working. Then boom, September of 2020, our oldest is diagnosed as type 1 diabetic. This was a huge lifestyle change for us, yeah, it would be, and ultimately caused a lot of stress, anxiety and depression for both of us. So over the past few years, we have slowly grew apart. Date nights disappeared totally for the next 2 years. In brackets, we were afraid of leaving him with other people, but we were getting much better with that now. Okay. We both became distant to each other and kind of became roommates during this time instead of partners. Oh, that's really sad. The stress of that would be a lot, especially it being kind of out of nowhere. During all of this, I am 100% accepting of the fact that I wasn't the best husband. I kind of left her on an island and I wish I could change it, but unfortunately, I can't. I was there physically, but I wasn't there emotionally. Okay, yep, owning up to it. That's good. Since she wasn't working, I expected her to care for our son's blood sugar during the night, since I had to be up early for work. I expected her to do the household chores during the day. On the flip side, she began to resent me for not helping around the house or helping as much at night with the crazy blood sugars. For a couple that had once been great at communicating, we were no longer communicated at all. We'd high five at the door with busy work schedules and a super busy sports schedule with our boys, and stop taking time for each other. During all of this, my wife began playing a video game with our boys called Fortnite. She really enjoyed it and started playing even when the boys were not. She would play late at night after I went to bed, and she would stay up, sometimes all night, playing while she monitored our son's blood sugar. It got to the point that she would literally be playing when I got up, got home from work and went to bed. Well, that's a long time. With this game, she created an online group of friends, and over the past 6 months, this group of 5 to 6 people would play together all the time. This is where the infidelity begins. She befriended this one guy in particular. I didn't figure this out until later, but she was chatting with him on Instagram regularly. She sent him a gift in the mail, and then she made up this huge lie to go visit him. She told me one of her friends from her days as an educator was opening a new salon and was wondering if my wife would come for the weekend and help her grand opening. That's a big lie, just to cover it up too. My wife told me the story, and having zero reason not to believe or trust her, I was totally okay with it, of course. She drove 10 hours away to spend the weekend with the guy she met online. For whatever reason, while she was gone, I got onto our iCloud account and noticed a bunch of recently deleted photos. My heart sank when I saw them. Nothing sexual, but I now knew what was happening. Isn't that weird too that he don't know why he did it, but obviously something in him told him to go look at the iCloud, which is crazy. She essentially shut her phone off for the entire trip and barely communicated with me or the boys while she was gone for 4 days. Okay. You have 2 kids at home, babes. Ultimately, she came home, lied about the trip, and I confronted her about what was really going on. It took her a few hours, but she finally came clean about what she did. She was adamant that it was solely a friendship, that nothing sexual happened. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. she left and spent the weekend with another man. It's more the fact that it's hidden. Like, even if she did nothing that was intimate with this man, it was the fact that you lied about the whole weekend. It's the fact that you kept it a secret. That is the thing that's wrong. And you didn't even communicate with your own boys or your husband the whole weekend is also another thing. This trip happened about 6 weeks ago. After the initial shock, we actually had some great conversations. We opened about how we ended up where we are, how we got to this place in our relationship. It truly was the best conversation we had in years. During all of this, she never tried to downplay what she did. Okay, that's good. She took 100% responsibility for her actions, and through all of that, we decided that we are going to try to make it work. We both said that we loved each other, and that divorce is not what either of us want. I also have started seeing a therapist during this time as well. If not, I think I would lose my mind. Oh, okay. It's good because every time I say something like this, I could never do it. But some people can work through it, and because it wasn't, even though emotionally it can be just as bad as physical, cheating kind of thing. Well, technically, I don't know. Has she cheated? I guess I don't know, because it's more secrecy, which I feel like is just the thing that's the biggest problem here. But because they both want to make it work, I hope whatever the outcome is good, you know? The one thing I asked her to do after all this was to please block 100% of contact with this guy. She agrees. Ultimately, she deleted Fortnite and she deleted all her social media apps. Fast forward to 2 to 3 weeks ago. We were driving to our son's baseball game and I noticed that she has Snapchat on her phone. I look at her and say, "Is that Snapchat?" She quickly denies it. Once we get to the game, I walk up behind her and she's logging out of Snapchat, so I just walk away. She finds me, apologizes, and hands me her phone and begs me to look through it, but I'm not interested at this point. Later that night, we argue about it and I tell her to get out of the house. Ultimately, cooler head prevails and she stays. Fast forward to the next weekend. I decide to stalk this guy's TikTok account. And who do I see as one of his followers? My wife. This leads to another huge fight where I tell her she needs to go and I want a divorce. If she just had actually done what she said she would do, this wouldn't have ever happened and they could have probably lived a good life and happy life and moved forward. But this is the second time. There's been 2 things now after the initial. I would also be like, no, you're not sticking to what you said you were going to do. We slept in separate beds that night. And again, I didn't pull the trigger and push the issue of her leaving. Now, fast forward to just a few days ago. There are 3 strikes and you're out. I already know something's going to happen. I bust her playing Fortnite with this guy online. I actually look at her phone later that night as well and see messages to one of her other online friends saying, "I'm so ridiculous. I wish," obviously name of the guy, "would get on so we could all play together." Another huge fight. This time, I say I'm done. I pack all my stuff and leave and spend the night at my brother's place. Yeah, like I said, 3 strikes and you're out. Ultimately, I'm sleeping back in our house. We had tickets for our youngest son to attend his first ever LMB game Saturday night. And we had amusement park tickets for today. So, for the boys, we did all these things together. That's good. We had another long talk this morning. She said the only way this works is if I get my anger outburst under control. In brackets, he says, which I agree, it's not healthy in any capacity. How big of a blow up is it too? And I stopped snooping through her phone, even though she told me she was an open book and left her phone unlocked so I could look if I wanted to. Okay, I get boundaries and all that, but you keep going against your words, so where is that trust that he will have for you if you keep... You've gone against your word 3 times. How is she able to put these boundaries down? But he asks her to put boundaries down and say, stop talking to this guy, remove all contact from this guy, and she still is in contact with the guy, but now expects him to bring something to the table as if he's done anything wrong, because there's a reasoning for his anger outburst. So I did get a hold of my therapist today, and he referred to me to an anger management group session, which I signed up for this Wednesday night. Okay, if he went to his therapist and he got referred to an anger management group, I'm guessing it is quite big, the outburst, but still. I wonder why he has so many anger outbursts. I wonder why. She told me again today that she would cut him out and she would stop playing Fortnite because it wasn't worth it. But you told him that like 2 months ago, that you would stop playing Fortnite, you'd cut all contact, and you have still done it. That's what I don't like. She said she wanted to go to marriage counselling, and she still says she doesn't want to get a divorce. I woke up 3 hours ago, 2 a.m, and walked downstairs. And she's sitting on the couch playing Fortnite. Granted, she wasn't playing with that guy, but I bet she would have been if he would have come online too. She literally told me this morning that she was never going to play again, and here we are. I am done fighting over it. I just told her good night and walked away. I'm not going to lie, I've been very overbearing towards her for the past 6 weeks, as well since she has returned. Obviously, I've lost all trust in her, which is valid though. I want to know every move she makes, where she's going, who she's going with. This has been really frustrating for her as well, and I get it, but I don't know how to get past this part of it. All I know is that there is any chance of making past this, I have to be able to step back a bit. But it has been really hard for me to figure out how to do that, or if I even should. But can we also talk about that, like, every time she went against what she said she was going to do, you had caught her out on doing the thing she said she wouldn't do anymore. So every time you've caught her doing that, would it make that trust littler to now it's probably like this. So yeah, if you want to make it work, you're going to have to step back, but also you have reasonings to not stepping back and keep getting more in her face about it. So I'm not too sure about how this will end up, but I think I have a pretty good feeling of where we are heading. I hate it too, because I truly still love her, and I think that she really still does love me. But I don't know if we're in love anymore. I'll update as we go, but not sure if counselling will be able to help us at this point. There's a really little, like, 1-sentence update, and it says, I have a meeting set up with a local divorce attorney tomorrow to advise me on next steps. You are all wonderful people. I will keep you updated on the process. So he's getting a divorce, which honestly is what I would recommend, because the thing is with the working out, if she can't stick to a word that she has given you and went against it 4 times, even the same day as one of the times she said she wouldn't do it, just means that she was also doing it in between every time you call her, and then kept doing it even though you called her. If she can't handle you being overbearing to the fact that you just want to know if she's sticking to a word, it's probably not going to work. And obviously he's going to a divorce attorney, so things fell out. But that doesn't surprise me, because she was being untrustworthy. Either way, you know what I mean. She was not sticking to her word or what she said she was going to do to make the relationship work after she had lied to you straight for her teeth, straight to your face. And it seems like it would just be a back and forth for the remaining of time. Even counselling, I don't know, because no one's sticking to their word, are they? Anyways, let me know what you thought about this story in the comments. Don't forget about the Patreon link in the description if you want to check it out. Don't forget to subscribe or like, and I'll see you in another video, guys. Bye!